We're here at CyberTalks with Meghan Good, Vice President and Director of the Cyber Accelerator at Leidos. Meghan, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
I'd like to start by asking, where from your perspective have you seen the government make some of the greatest progress over the past year in addressing cybersecurity?
Well, I think the biggest one is in response to the Executive Order 14028, and certainly around some of the initiatives that it calls out there with Zero Trust and with the Software Bill of Materials, with the incident response playbooks and the kind of guidance and follow-up memorandums that have been coming. I think what that has translated into for a company like Leidos, where we work across lots of different government customers, be that in defense and the intelligence community, or even in healthcare, and then also with our civilian agencies like NASA and the FAA. What we're seeing is a lot more discussion about how do we move forward to start implementing Zero Trust. We're talking a lot more about roadmaps. We're talking a lot more about where we are and what's the journey going to be. And I just see that as a great step in progress, and then it's very practical. It's down to particular solutions. It's using our integrator background and our partnerships with our external technology partners and how we can bring that to bear and really help the government along that journey.
Well, talk to us a little bit about how Leidos has made some of its greatest progress, if you will, using technology to improve how the government delivers citizen services or employee productivity or missions overall.
Sure. I think for us at Leidos, we certainly have been investing in technology and then partnering very closely with those tech partners to make sure that we're delivering something that's useful to the government in a couple of areas. The first one, again, is around Zero Trust. So with our really use of codifying a lot of the guidance that we've seen in evaluating tech products so that we make sure that we're addressing each pillar of Zero Trust and giving a more holistic solution for each of those agencies. I think another example is really what we've been doing on the Security Operations Center front. As a company now, we actually help the government operate more than about 80% of the DoD subscribers. We get to help support from a cybersecurity services side, but there's a lot of transformation in that from technology. It's how do we go from where we are to where we're headed, and really deploying more security orchestration and automation response kinds of capabilities. And how do we speed that cycle up for the government from where we were to where we need to go to really address and counter our most advanced adversaries. I think we also have seen the use of technology to help speed up how we're evaluating the resilience of some of our cyber physical systems and legacy sorts of platforms across the board, and looking at what are the specific tools and capabilities that help us identify, think like an attacker, and actually act like an attacker within those environments.
And then lastly, what are some of the top cybersecurity investment priorities at Leidos heading into the new year?
I think for us, it's looking at the kinds of environments that our customers are operating. So it's looking at what we're doing around multi-cloud and the kinds of responses that we're able to provide, the kinds of visibility that we need within those environments as we're implementing Zero Trust network architectures, and the kinds of tooling, dashboards, roadmaps that we need to develop to support those transitions. On the cyber physical side, it's a lot about what kinds of resilience mechanisms we need, the kinds of analysis that we need for different sorts of systems and monitoring, and how to integrate that into our classic, defensive cyber operations capabilities. I've mentioned before about SOAR tools, and it's really the expansion of those playbooks and sharing across environments as we can with our government customers. I think with a lot of that, it's how do they harness the power of the data that they have within their environments? How do we test those analytics over time? And then how do we build an integrated solution that's getting them to the next step? All of those kind of span the cycle of cybersecurity, and we're investing in each of those for next year.
Well, terrific. Well, Meghan Good, thank you so much for joining us here at CyberTalks and sharing some of your perspective on how the government is improving cybersecurity and how Leidos is helping.
Thank you.